Red Sox, spring training, drama. It does feel like the old days. Yesterday we talked about the whole, saga with Rafael Devers trying to play third still, even though they just went out and got the best defensive third baseman in the American League. And now you have the best defensive third baseman in the American League and the worst defensive third baseman in all of baseball. And the latter wants to be the guy. Let's just simplify it there. And then we started hearing from teammates. And this is where it becomes awkward, because now Devers has put everyone else in an awkward position. And Cora, I guess, did too. Where now they're going to be asked about this. And Bregman was asked about it. And obviously the most awkward position. He gets asked about it and says, I'm just happy to play here, happy to play with Rafi, excited to be here, play wherever they'll play me. Which is the right way to handle this, which is probably the way that Rafael Devers should have handled it. But what are you going to do? He's already said what he said, and the cat is out of the bag. He has not apologized or anything, and it seems like he does not want to move off of third base. Well, now you have some of his teammates, I guess, standing up for him. I don't know that this is a standing up for him kind of situation. I think this is pretty stupid. Triston Casas, first baseman of the Red Sox, but maybe his business card now says GM/manager, because here's what Triston Casas had to say about who will be playing third base.
I think it's Rafael Devers' position. I think he's the third baseman, and at that point, that's where it stands. And he's done it for a really long time now, and I think he's only getting better at that position. I think his defense is getting better every single year. We don't know what the future holds, but we know it holds Rafael Devers. So I think he's got to play defense. It's going to keep him athletic, and he's going to hit because of him being at third base. He doesn't know any other position. He doesn't want to play any other position, and he's going to fight for it, even if it's with any of the younger guys, any new guy. I think he's the best third baseman in the league. I wouldn't take anybody over him. So I think he should play third base. Yeah.
So you think Bregman should play second? Rafi plays third.
I think Bregman should play second base. Yeah. I think he's going to make the transition well. I think he's athletic enough to, and I think Trevor, is going to play an awesome shortstop.
Here's the thing, Triston. If you are the worst at what you do and you get a little bit better, but you're still the worst, the getting better thing does not trump that. You're still the worst. Oh, he's getting better every year. First off, no, he's not. He's not getting better every year. He plateaued about 2 years ago, and he's still the worst. He went from the worst third baseman in the league to the worst third baseman in the league. Now, the Red Sox have not had other options. Okay, so it's fine that he played third base because they didn't have any other options, and no one else is good on that infield, so nobody can elevate him and kind of cover up those mistakes. And he's a good enough hitter that you had to keep him in the lineup. But that's not the context anymore. The context is you have the actual best defensive third baseman in baseball. Not what Triston Casas thinks is the best, because he thinks Rafael Devers is the best third baseman. That is wrong. That's factually incorrect. But what the stats say, Alex Bregman is the best defensive third baseman in the American League. You have him on your roster now. Moving him to second would be absolute malpractice. Malpractice. It would be fucking stupid. And so that's why I'm like, this isn't standing up for your guys. Some people are saying, oh, he's just sticking up for his guy. No, he's not. He's being stupid. And he's creating more drama in that clubhouse because he said something fucking dumb. Rafael Devers is not the best third baseman in baseball. He's a terrific hitter. He's probably the best player on this team. He's not a good third baseman. And I'm sick of this being like sacrilegious to say. He's not good at it. Why is this such a dramatic thing that we're moving him from third base to a position where he can focus on hitting? The thing he's actually good at. Like, what What are we talking about? And this is a continuous thing for this Red Sox team the last few years. If Rafael Devers goes out there and plays third base opening day, it would just be another notch in the belt of this team and this organization not understanding what their guys are good at. Who's playing next to him if he's playing third base? Who's playing next to him? Trevor Story at shortstop. Remember when he came in? Much better defensive shortstop than Xander Bogaerts. Much better. Who played shortstop that year? Xander Bogaerts. Because he's like, I'm a shortstop. Again, one of the worst ranges in the league at shortstop, the same way Rafael Devers is at third base. But you pandered to him. And you put Trevor Story at second, which does nothing for you defensively, even though he's a great defensive infielder as a shortstop. He's the best defensive infielder you had by a mile, and you put him at the least important infield position because your guy is a shortstop. Not a good one, but you did it anyway. How about Garrett Whitlock? Remember how effective Garrett Whitlock was out of the bullpen? When he was their closer in 21, they used him a couple different ways out of the bullpen, multiple innings, 5-out saves. The guy was electric. And then for the last 3 years, you tried him out as a starting pitcher, and it doesn't work. He's not good at it. It's the same thing with Rafael Devers. So why do we continue to do this? Anybody? You went out there and way overpaid for Masataka Yoshida, knowing he was probably a liability in the outfield. Wow, wouldn't you know he's a fucking liability in the outfield? So it's like everywhere we turn, the Red Sox are putting the wrong guys at wrong positions. So why should we expect anything different from this? Worst defensive third baseman in baseball. Guess where he's going to be playing opening day? Probably going to be playing third base. Because he's a little crybaby, and Triston Casas thinks he knows who should be playing where. It's incredible, dude. What are you talking about, Triston? I like Casas. I want him on this team. But what leg are you standing on? That's not sticking up for your guys. It's being stupid. That's creating more drama. For what? For making a stupid point that you can't even believe. There's no way you can believe Rafael Devers is a better third baseman than Alex Bregman. You have to have some kind of smarts to make it to the major leagues. You have to know that he's not as good. Nothing, no metric, no scouts, no analysts, no other players outside of Triston Casas can give you an argument that says Rafael Devers is a better defensive third baseman than Alex Bregman. Nobody. Maybe nobody that doesn't share DNA with Rafael Devers or gets a part of his contract can tell you that he's a better defensive third baseman than Alex Bregman. Nobody. And the other thing in there, I think, playing third base will keep him fit. Is that the issue here? Because maybe it is. Maybe Triston Casas is making an enlightening point if we read between the lines. Maybe the point is Devers needs to play third base or he's going to balloon. He already doesn't have the body of a third baseman. Come on. We have eyes. We can see this. And he's not going to be a third baseman long term. But maybe that's the issue right now. Maybe that's how you keep this guy engaged. Maybe that's how you keep this guy in shape. That's another issue. That's a big issue. Again, love Devers. Think he's the best player on your team. But if that's your concern, you might have to Luka Doncic this shit. Alex Bregman, while maybe not as good a player as Rafael Devers, not as good a hitter, I don't have that concern about him. And this reminds me just so much of really the pre-2004 Red Sox, the 25 guys, 25 caps kind of thing, where Triston Casas thinks he's standing up for his teammate, but really he's not. And you actually brought in a guy in Alex Bregman who is a consummate professional, who's a hell of a baseball player and knows how to win, has been in the locker rooms of winning teams, has a couple World Series rings, something your guys do not have. And you bring him in as this valuable commodity. We talked about it on the show. Valuable guy to bring in, not just in the lineup, but in the clubhouse, who knows how to win. And immediately, as soon as he gets in the door, everyone's like, I don't see why he could be playing third base. Gold Glove, never heard of it. Don't know why he should be playing third base over our guy. Already, you just alienate him for nothing. For reporters' question. That's what pisses me off. Other than the fact that Everybody with a brain knows that Alex Bregman is a better third baseman than Rafael Devers. Like it's stupid. It's a waste of all of our fucking time to even explain that. It's so dumb. Let's try it in baseball terms here. Let's just say you've got a GM that has a really good eye for talent, but cannot write a contract for his life. Cannot negotiate, cannot make one-for-one trades. Like, can't do it, can't negotiate, can't get good business deals done whatsoever. But boy, can he identify talent. And then you have a chief scout who was an assistant GM somewhere else, and he can negotiate and has a pretty good eye for talent. Which one of those should be the GM? It's no fucking question. It's the guy who can do both. And the GM who really has an eye for talent, okay, go be the best scout that we have. Rafael Devers, go be the best hitter that we have. We have a guy who can play that position. Take the load off you. And no, now it's a controversy. Now it's a point of contention. Now Alex Bregman, now Triston Casas thinks that Rafael Devers is the best third baseman in baseball, and the Gold Glove third baseman from 2024 should just play second. Oh yeah, he'll be great at that. What does that do for the team? That doesn't do any good for this team at all. I can't believe we're on day 3 or 4 of this discussion. And by the way, this is going to go on throughout camp. This is going to go all the way throughout camp. It just doesn't make any sense. And if the Red Sox bow down to another goddamn player who's playing out of position, it's going to be the same cycle of shit. So where's Alex Cora here? Where's the player's manager? A guy who can communicate with the players. That's not to rub their back and tell them how great they are. A player's manager is supposed to be able to communicate with them and tell them, Rafi, you're not good at this position. We need you in the lineup. You're our best hitter, but your days of playing third base are over. That's why we flirted with 2 Gold Glove third basemen for 3 months. How did you not see this coming? Suck it up, be a professional, collect your $30 million a year, and hit 30 homers and drive in 100 runs as our fucking DH. And cut the shit. You're not a third baseman anymore. That's what a player's manager needs to be saying to these guys. But instead, they gave in to Xander Bogaerts and lost a season there of Trevor Story playing shortstop. And they're going to lose probably the last best years of defense for Alex Bregman if this thing keeps going on. For not mediocre defense for Rafael Devers, the worst third base defense in all of baseball. That's what you're giving up.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter here for some more outrageous Boston sports takes coming to you every weekday at noon Eastern time. And then after that, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.